This month's EDC is less about aesthetics and more about utility. You see, typically I care about a balance of form and function, but for the month of June, I decided let's toss the trends, let's ditch the theme, and let's just go with something that just works. These aren't just tools, these are solutions to problems I face every day. Some of them surprised me, some of them annoyed me, and some of them just might change the way that I carry forever. But let's go ahead and start simple with a pen. I've really been enjoying journaling a lot more, and I've frequently switched between analog and digital because apparently I have commitment issues, but I've been really enjoying journaling with pen and paper as of recently. And the pen of choice that I've been using for this month is the Fisher Space Bullet Pen. Now, if you're in the EDC community, then you've for sure heard of the Fisher Space Bullet Pen, but pretty much it's a compact little pen at a little bit over the size of my ring finger, but when you put the cap on the back end, it actually expands to a comfortable writing size. One of the cool things about the Fisher Space Bullet Pen is that it's got a pressurized ink cartridge, and this allows you to write underwater, upside down, or in space, hence the name. Now, while this is cool and all, the main reason why I love this is actually because of its form factor. It's so compact that it practically disappears into any pocket or pouch that you might put it in. I absolutely love the way that this pen writes in my notebook, but be advised that if you're writing on a thin piece of paper on a hard surface, such as signing a receipt, for example, then your writing is going to look a little bit more scraggly and not as smooth. I will say it is a little bit expensive for what it is at about $33 at the time of writing, but I've had this thing for years and it hasn't failed me yet. I will leave links down to everything in the description below for you guys if you are interested. They are affiliate links, so if you choose to purchase something through them, then it does benefit the channel. But hey, I'm not here to sell you stuff, I'm just here to talk about cool gear. So on to the next item. All right, we are going back to back with the classics today because I've got the Olight i3T EOS flashlight. Now, I will say this has been superseded by the i3T2 EOS, but I haven't found a reason to upgrade, and this is just totally fine. I absolutely love this light. So I think what I love so much about this little light is just how simple it is. It's pretty much just got two modes, a 5 lumen mode and a 180 lumen mode. So there's not a ton of levels that you need to switch to, no confusing UI, just 2 clicks, you got your 5 lumen and your 180 lumen. It's powered by AAA batteries, so it's super common and easy to find a battery for. And instead of having to wait for something to recharge, all you simply have to do is just take out the old battery and pop in a new one. No waiting to charge up your gear. It's also IPX8 water resistant, so I'm pretty sure that means that it's waterproof up to 1 meter or deeper of water. And it's also got a reverse clip, so that if you wear hats, you can clip it on and use it as a headlamp. Simplicity is the name of the game here. It's why I love this light so much and why I'm back to carrying it this month. Now this next item, it always surprises me, and we're going to be talking about the NAF's Lander 1 pocket knife. What I absolutely love about this knife is just how robust and utilitarian it feels. It flies open with authority, it locks up like a vault, and it just feels like a knife that wants to be used. I also feel like I can choke up on it and get some precision work done. It's got a D2 blade, so it's more than enough for most tasks. It's got a sturdy and secure liner lock, a thumb stud, G10 scales, and a deep carry pocket clip. Now, one cool thing about this knife that I personally don't care too much for, but I think it's really important, is that you can actually easily change the scales on this knife. So you can customize them to your heart's content. I believe NAF's has a website with a ton of different scales that you can buy, and I think the scale files are open source too, if you want to 3D print or machine your own. Overall, this just feels like a playful sleeper of a knife. It's fun and whimsical on the outside, but it's also really capable of some hard use. Now, if I had to nitpick about this knife, I would say that there's not really enough jimping on the back edge of the blade. And then also, I feel like the liner lock is a bit difficult to disengage. It just feels like it's a little bit too flush, and I wish it protruded a little bit more so I didn't have to dig my thumb in as far to undo the liner lock. But that's really it. All right, so how do I actually carry all of this gear? Well, that's going to be where the Alpaca Zip Pouch Pro comes in. Now, if you watch my unpopular EDC opinions video, then you might be a little bit confused because in that video, I mentioned that I don't like pouch carry for my EDC. But specifically, I mentioned that I don't like zippered pouch carry. And this is different because for your frequently used EDC gear, like your knife, your pen, and your flashlight, there's actually slip pockets, which makes this way better to use in my opinion. So on the sides, it's got 3 slip pockets of various widths. So you've got this one right here where I have my pen, this one where I have my flashlight, and then the one on the back where I carry my knife. It's also got this zippered pocket on the side, which is probably good for like an air tag, maybe coins or some cash. But what I find is that it's actually a little bit too narrow or tight to fit anything meaningful in there because there's not much volume built in, which we'll get to later. So the main zippered pocket right here actually acts as my wallet. So as you can see here, I've got some cards in here. It's got a fabric divider in the middle so you can organize your cards. And it's also got a bright orange liner for visibility, which I find makes it really easy to see what cards you have inside of here. My only nitpick here is going to be that it does feel a little bit tight to get into your cards, but with enough practice, you can figure it out. My main nitpick with this pouch slash wallet is that everything just feels a little too small, kind of like the pouch equivalent to skinny jeans. Functional, yes. Flexible, not so much. I feel like the slip pockets don't really have too much volume built into them, which in turn causes it to eat into the internal capacity of these zippered pockets, which makes it a little bit harder to access in my opinion. Other than that though, this wallet slash pouch feels really durable. It's made out of a VX21 X-Pack fabric, and it's got YKK water sealed zippers. Now, typically I'm a fan of water sealed zippers, YKK water sealed zippers on my bags and stuff like that. But for something this small, I feel like it adds a little bit of unnecessary friction and bulk to the pouch itself. So I kind of wish that they just used regular zippers here, especially when considering that the X-Pack fabric is already waterproof. So I just don't really feel like you need that much ingress protection on the zippered pocket, especially when it's going to be in your pocket most of the time. As for the other specs, this is RFID protected. It can carry 4 to 12 cards, I believe, and it is compatible with their Alpaca Hub ecosystem carabiner right here, which I just have connected like so. So this can go on your belt loop or on your bag, and you can easily remove your wallet like so. Now, I found that having this on my belt loop has been hit or miss, and I'll have it on my belt loop depending on my mood. If I'm walking around like a lot, then I'll probably just slip this into my back pocket instead of having it connected to my belt loop, just because of the dangle. But it really just depends on, you know, what the use case is and what the vibe is. But I found that this hub ecosystem thing is really cool. I really like it, and it's pretty secure. Like, it's really hard to kind of take out unintentionally. Like I'm actually kind of trying here. One second. Yeah, it's just really hard without pulling out that tab. Quick pause, guys. If you're enjoying this video or finding it helpful, then the best way to support the channel is by hitting that like button. It tells the algorithm that I'm not just talking to myself. And if you want more EDC content that balances form and function and the occasional existential crisis about zippered pouches, then feel free to hit that subscribe button. Alrighty, let's get back to it. I thought that I didn't need a multi-tool until I started carrying one. And then I realized that there were a ton of useful scenarios in which it came handy, even for an office worker like myself. Even though the multi-tool is the least used part of my EDC, I sure am glad that I have it on me every day. This thing has come in handy a few times, and I'm glad that it's on me when it's needed. It goes in my fifth pocket, so I pretty much just forget that it's there. The Leatherman Wave Plus really needs no introduction. I'm pretty sure it's like the most popular multi-tool, if not one of the most popular multi-tools. Now, I bought the Leatherman Wave Plus specifically because I felt like the tool set just made so much sense for someone like me. It's got a plain edge knife, it's got a serrated edge knife, it's got a saw, it's got a file, it's got pliers and wire cutters, it's got scissors, an eyeglasses screwdriver, a regular Phillips head and flathead screwdriver, scissors. Like, this thing just has so many tools that actually make sense for someone like me. The use cases for something like this for someone like me are definitely there. I mean, sawing off overgrown plant stems or prying up carpet squares, opening bottles, tightening screws, you know, the usual office stuff. I can definitely see myself relegating this to my backpack if I start using it less, but as of now, it's definitely earning its pocket space. Okay, so as for keys, I feel like I've got a pretty good system going on here. So as for the carabiner, this is going to be the Orbit key clip. Now, I believe this is the version 1. I think they're on version 2, but it's pretty much just a quick detachable key clip for when you need quick access to your keys. It's very similar to the Alpaca Hub carabiner right here. I will say I think I prefer the Alpaca Hub carabiner a little bit more just because it feels a little bit more secure and robust, but this also works well as well. Speaking of Orbit key, I've also got my keys tucked away in an Orbit key leather key organizer. I just love adding leather to my everyday carry where I can, and this just adds a touch of it, which just will age and patina really gracefully. It also reduces the jingle when I'm walking around, and also it organizes my keys, of course, so I kind of know exactly where everything is. And lastly, I of course have an air tag on my keys. Great for if you drop it in grass, which has happened to me, or if you drop it into crevice or something like that and you have a hard time finding it. This can lead you to it. It can play a sound so you can find it. And this has saved me multiple times. Ask me how I know. I'll skim over this next part, but having an EDC handkerchief is great for wiping up spills, for drying your hands, for wiping sweat off your brow, for cleaning lenses, cleaning glasses, cleaning screens, all of that stuff. This that you see here, I got from a maker on Etsy. It wasn't super expensive. I'll try to link it down in the description below, but it's also got a microfiber side, of course, for wiping those lenses and stuff like that. I think having a EDC handkerchief is just a no-brainer. It takes up like no space and it has so many uses. So the watch of choice that I've been carrying for a long time, and you guys have probably seen it in a few videos now, is actually going to be the Wear S5 Tradition watch. Now, I don't know too much about watches, but this has got 100 meters of water resistance. It's got a quartz movement. It's got a stainless steel body and kind of like this vintage field watch kind of design to it. I think this looks really handsome and really casual, which is great for like if you're wearing like a flannel or, you know, something just like super chill. I really like this watch a lot. The story behind this is that Wear had actually reached out to me and they were like, hey, we'd love to send you something for you to feature on your channel. And I told them like, hey, you know, I love watches. I think they're super cool, but I just don't wear them as often because I use an Apple Watch to track all of my metrics and stuff like that. And they were like, no problem. We totally understand. We'd like to send this out to you with no expectation of a video. And so they sent it to me and I've been wearing it. And honestly, this has kind of replaced my Apple Watch except for workouts, but of course, except for workouts. But this thing has been awesome. They sent it to me with no expectation of a video, and it turns out that I really love it. So thanks so much, Wear, for sending this out. I've really been enjoying this watch, and it's been on my wrist pretty much every day except for when I'm working out. As for tech in my EDC, you know I've got to have earbuds, and I just have the AirPods Pro in a Native Union leather case right here. They're fantastic. I mean, they've got great noise cancellation, a great transparency mode too. They've got good sound quality. They've got good ecosystem compatibility. They're just super fast and convenient to use, and that's why I love these a lot. And lastly, for my phone of choice, I am using the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Sometimes I'll rock a case, but right now I'm not because I like living on the edge. But really, I just like the way it feels without a case. I mean, what can you say about an iPhone that hasn't been said already, right? I mean, it's got a fantastic camera system, especially for video. It's got great software and apps. It's got a fantastic ecosystem. I mean, what else can you ask for? I mean, maybe you could have asked them to not have fumbled the ball with Siri, but I mean, other than that, I'm really satisfied with what I've got. So that's my June EDC. Nothing flashy, no fancy themes or anything, just gear that quietly solves real problems. Some of it's new, some of it's old, but all of it has definitely earned its place. I'll drop links to everything down in the description below if you're thinking of making a kit like this for yourself. And as always, if you found this helpful or at least mildly entertaining, then consider subscribing for more gear breakdowns, honest opinions, and the occasional pouch-related identity crisis. But that has been all, guys. I've been Jeffrey, and remember, whatever you carry, carry it well. I'll talk at you later.